Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam here. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a little bonus romance reading, but it's going to have to be short because I already did a longer one and I already feel like puking. I already puked 3 times when I did that other one. So remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is, your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or just simply your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you are in the right place. So let's give you a look-see at the cards we are using today. We are using the Louvre oracles. Here we go. If you watch tarot card readings like I do, you will definitely recognize this deck. Okay. Ooh, and it doesn't even come with a guidebook. Interesting. I don't ever read the guidebook, so that's why I didn't know it was there already. And then if we need tarot clarification, let's go ahead and use, oh, where'd it go? Come here, you. Let's go ahead and use the Modern Love Tarot because I really only use this during Valentine's Day. And then it just disappears. The other 2 decks that we've been using, the Vanessa Samina one and the this one up here, those I use in the spring months as well. So anyway, for group 1, you have this blue stone. It's either Chacodini or however you say it, or it's could be sodalite, could be that, oh, is it called kyanite? It doesn't sound, it sounds right, but it's probably wrong. Pink quartz for group 2. Not 1, not 2, but 3 moonstones for group 3. There's a dude that sells stuff on Etsy. I buy rings from him. And he always sends me like little loose stones like that. And I'm like, I get so excited. Okay. And then group 4, you get the, I call it the blood-stained heart because it looks black and it's got blood splatter all over it. Yes. Sorry. Blood spatter. Splatter is a verb. Spatter is a noun. That's the difference. Remember how when they say blood spatter back in the 90s when all those like CSI shows came out, like sounded funny, but they were actually saying the right one. And I'd been saying it wrong that whole time. Anybody else do that? Anybody else remember the CSIs from the 90s? Now we just watch true crime. It's like, oh, we need it to be realer than that. I know realer's not a word. Okay. So, pause if you need. We will see you in your individual readings. Hi, group 1. So if you picked the blue stone, let's talk about what your guide's little bonus message is for you for Valentine's Day or romance. Super gross. Notice how she has all these cute little butterflies around her. I'm not sure what that is. It almost looks like a third eye situation, but like it doesn't look like it's part of her face because her hair goes behind it. What is that? Do you ever, now that we're in the technology age, do you ever like look at books and pictures in books or like cards and want to go like this? Have you ever caught yourself actually doing that? I have when I was reading Romeo and Juliet. Because I was up at my podium, you know, and they were reading it and I'm like following along with them. And we get to like a historical significant picture that was in the textbook. And I'm like, oh yeah, you guys, look at this picture. This is really important. I look down at it and I do this. I started getting frustrated. It wasn't working. And then I stopped realizing that I'm an idiot. And I wondered how many of them figured out that's what was going on. How embarrassing, you guys. So embarrassing, you guys. Okay. So transformation, change. Fuchsia is a color that I feel like is significant to you. So if we don't get around to it, look up the color fuchsia or magenta. They're both the same color and just different names. Maybe argue with me about that in the comment section. And let's look and see. You'll just see what the properties of magenta and or fuchsia are. Okay. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Okay. Let me look at those words for a minute. Oh, man. You know, sometimes this realization feels like, yup, you know, and you just go for it. Other times, you know, but you don't want to know, you know, and I'm feeling kind of both of that with this group right now. But if you know, you know, right? And I just brought him up the other day, but I'm going to bring him up again. I might have brought him up when we did the first video for Valentine's Day. A kid I used to teach said that the way he copes is he first asks himself, what is the reality of this situation? He's like, and if I know what the reality is, then I'm closer to accepting the reality. Like, wowza. Pretty intense. So I feel like deep down inside, you already know what to do. Okay, you already like know if somebody's not measuring up. You already know that if they are, right? I also got a meme that I saw the other day pop out to me just now when we were talking about this, and it was who called and checked on you today? Exactly. Do what you want, you know, kind of situation. And yeah, somebody might have called and checked on you today. But I feel like if you're thinking about somebody, you know, that you're wondering how they feel and what they're thinking, et cetera, and so forth, like in the romance department, you know, if they're not pulling their weight, do what you want. Don't sit and wait for someone. And that's something that I tell people all the time when they call and ask, you know, should I wait for this person to figure out what they want, you know? And I say, absolutely not. Because you might be waiting forever, because we all have free will. And that means that that person could come back into your life and be like, I made a big mistake. I'm so sorry. I love you. And then you take them back, and then they go right back to that BS aloof behavior. You know what I'm talking about, pulling close and then pull away. And then when you finally decide to move on with your life, that's when they come scampering back in. That happens so frequently in relationships. Especially, I've become more aware of it, especially now that I do, most of my readings are about relationships. That's mainly the reason why people call and pay a reader to do a reading for them. Not everyone. I usually call and ask for, you know, because I feel like my relationship's pretty solid. Like if I have a problem, if I'm worried about what Mr. John's thinking, I'm gonna be like, what you thinking? What's in your mind? We need to talk, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, some people call, you know, I would call about things like, am I making the right decision? I would probably call about careers, you know, I would probably call about health, you know, not that anybody professional, they're not allowed to, at least not in the places that I work, we're not allowed to talk about health, but, you know, because we're not doctors. But, you know, that's something that I would want to ask about, right? It's not so much asking like, hey, what sort of medication? Is this medication something that I should be taking, or should I just quit? Not like that. It's more like, am I ever going to get better? You know, are we ever going to find a name for whatever it is that I have? And can we beat it? Can we fix it? You know, those kinds of thoughts is what comes into my mind. So anyway, they say deep in your heart, you already know the answer. So do what feels right. You already know. So I feel like a lot of you were just tuning in to get confirmation of like, what the heck am I supposed to do? Okay. And that's why it's so transformative. I feel like trusting what you know in your heart and then just doing what feels right might be a little bit foreign to you, because you're kind of waiting for a sign or waiting for someone to get back to you, or waiting for someone to give you some kind of feedback or to even show you the way kind of, and you're going to push your own way forward now. And here's the thing, when I say like, you might be waiting around for somebody to say something, that might not be all you, right? I have a thing about me where if I go out in public and I interact with human beings and they're in a room with me and they can see me and watch me doing whatever it is that I do, they tend to think that it's very important for them to tell me what I want, to tell me what I should think, tell me what I should have done. And I don't know if it's because I'm female. I don't know if it's because I'm small. I don't know if it's because I kind of never lost that kind of, what do you call it? Like, you know, teenagers are kind of naive. I didn't lose that like naivete of like a teenager, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'm just it's just a really nice fancy way of saying I'm extremely immature and people just think I'm 12. But anyway, I feel like that might be something that kind of happens to some of you, or, if those aren't the dynamics, like if you don't look young or whatever, you just have some kind of an air about you where people think that they need to tell you what to think and feel. And because they just assumed that that's how it needs to be over the years, you might have just assumed that that's how it was too. And actually allow people to give you their opinions when really they don't need to, or allow them to redirect your decisioning when really, it's up to you, right? And the reason why I brought up my stories to make you understand that I'm not saying oh, you just let people push you around, you just do whatever they say. It's it's more complex than that. It's energetic on top. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I recognize it, because it happens to me. And it does not matter how hard I try to get it to not happen to me, it still happens to me because they want it to be that way too, right? I don't want it that way. They do. So anyway, that being said, let's look at the words some more. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what you feel is right. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there because I feel like you already know what to do. You were just looking for confirmation. And so with that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, give me comments in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. Thank you, my friends. Happy Valentine's Day. Gosh, I won't have to deal with this for another year. If I live, that'd be like something to console me on my deathbed. I'd be like, oh, but I don't have to do any love readings. I'm just kidding. Am I? All right. You take care, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Blah, 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 blah. Group 2. So if you pick the cute little pink quartz heart, I'm pretty sure that this little heart came for free with the deck of cards that I'm not using today, with this deck of cards. I was like, ooh, a free crystal. Exciting. I love getting crystals. I don't go out and get my own generally because if I did, my house would be full of crystals and there'd be dust everywhere. So I only accept them as gifts for the most part. And every once in a while, if I see one that's I must come with you, I'm like, okay, but not usually. I got all these little hearts myself. The ones that are fat and round like these that you see me using. I did buy a box of these, and they came in a little tackle box that had them all in their own little square, but then I didn't say what any of them were. I know that they're all genuine stones, but they didn't label them. So that's why I don't know what they are. Okay. So with this, see how the heart has wings? I like that. It also has these little, they kind of look like infinity symbols right there. Do you see them? Here, let me take my pencil, not draw my card, but kind of trace it for you. Right here, I see one. And right here, I see one. So 2 infinity symbols. I don't know if that's supposed to be what they are, or if there's some kind of special knot that's formed together, because I can also do this. But I did notice the infinity symbol in there. So that's giving me some infinity symbol. The heart has wings, so it's almost like your heart has taken flight in some way. Let's see. Geez, Louise, let's just get right to it, guys. Oh my gosh. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. Well, that's a poignant message. Okay, I feel like for some of you, and this is a specific thing for just a couple of you, not a couple, a couple of you, that maybe today was kind of disappointing. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day, which also makes it more specific to whoever's watching. So if it's not Valentine's Day when you're watching this, it could be that somebody disappointed you. Maybe it was your birthday and they didn't give you a present, or maybe, it's Valentine's Day and they didn't get you something. And you're always I feel like you're always so giving. Okay. So your guides are trying to remind you that, and I just heard somebody say, it's the thought that counts. True. Very true. And because they're saying that it's not the material stuff that's important, I feel like they're trying to get around to the point, and this is still specific to just those couple of people. I feel like you might have a partner or a person in your life who doesn't buy gifts very much. They probably don't buy them as much as you do. When they do, they probably aren't as good at it, maybe, you know, that kind of thing. But your guides are saying that memories are what's important with those you love. I think your person, if they suck at presents and things like giving material gifts, I feel like if you watch them, you'll see that they do a different kind of gift giving, which is like good deeds. Okay. So like my life partner doesn't usually come home with flowers because like they would kill me, right? I'm allergic to flowers. Most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. So if you get a bouquet that's all like arranged and has a billion different flowers in it, it could kill me. And the, you know, so when he comes home from a long trip or something, he doesn't usually have like a gift for me. Okay. But, you know, he goes away all the time. I wouldn't expect a gift every time your husband got home from a business trip. That would be a lot of pressure. But my point is that what he does do are like a million deeds when he's at the house that like make my life easier. Like he always jumps in and does the dishes more when he's home because he knows that when he's not home, I'm the one that has to deal with him all the time. But then like he'll come home sometimes and I was like lazy that week and didn't do the dishes. So a lot of times, you know, like when I don't do them and he hasn't even been there dirtying them for me, he'll come home and still do them. And so, you know, I'm spoiled. But anyway, I wouldn't get upset at him for not getting me a present. Does that make sense? Because he spends so much money on like washing my car. I've never washed my car. Like, you know, putting a stereo in my car. I've never asked him to put a stereo in my car. I think I gave him money one time for one and then he installed it, you know, but if I would have had somebody else install it, that would have cost money, that kind of thing. And so I feel like your person has a love language of good deeds, things they do for you. So start watching that because that might make you feel a little bit better. Okay. And then for the rest of you, I feel like some of you might just be worried about material needs like money, you know, and like, here's the thing, guys. I don't care how evil money is. I don't, because I need it. Sorry, one of your guides just put a ringing in my ear. I was trying to see if I could hear anything. Headache. Somebody have a headache? Are you okay? If you have a headache, drink more water. Somebody just said, okay. So maybe somebody's dehydrated watching. Okay. I had a headache the other day. I actually had to go in and get a shot to make it go away. Like a shot of Motrin, not a shot of whiskey. I don't think a shot of whiskey would have taken it away. Okay, anyway. But your guides are saying that, you know, when you go from this world that you can't take any of that wealth that you accumulate with you. And so it's better just to focus on other things. So like right now I'm hella broke, y'all. Like I lost my career a year and a half ago. And now I work at home doing tarot readings. And so while tarot readings do pay well, you don't have a busy influx of like a line of people out your door or a line of people, you know, on your call queue waiting to call you. You might get like 2 or 3 clients a day, if even that, right? And so like I fixate on, oh, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. Oh, I need abundance. I need to make more money. But at the same time, like I'm still in my house. You know, like I haven't lost my house. We still have vehicles, you know, we're still managing to pay our bills. And so it's like, we've kind of gotten into this habit over the years, probably because we got together so young, that like we will forego material stuff to spend time together. So like he doesn't travel as much and make more money because we want to spend time together. I can't go work anymore. I have to, if I'm working, have to work at home. That's just the way it goes. If that falls through, I would have to go on disability or try to go on disability probably. So anyway, my point is that we have so much to be grateful for just because we have each other, that kind of takes away from that, like, gotta have the money right now. It's like, I feel like as long as our bellies are full and like no one's gonna foreclose on like our house around us, that kind of thing. We have money for like medicine and stuff like that. That I do live a bounteous, rich life, even though I don't have like $1 million in my bank account or even $50 in my bank account right now. So anyway, that's something that's coming through for some specific people as well. Some of you, I feel like you may have lost someone, like they passed away, and your guides are saying to focus on the good memories of that time that you had, right? Instead of focusing on the loss that's in front of you right now. Obviously, you have to focus on loss, right? It's part of the grieving process, but they're saying to not forget how lucky you were to know that person before. I try to remind myself all the time that I'm already like luckier than most that I've been with my partner for 25 years, that we haven't, had an issue that broke us up and that we both lived this long. Okay. That doesn't mean that, if something happens, I'm going to feel like it was that we had enough time, because I don't think I'll ever feel like that ever. I don't feel like it'll ever be enough. So your guides are saying to just like focus on those memories, like actually let your mind go back. And if you cry, it's okay, but let your mind go back and think of, even jot them down. Like I have like a little book that I just jot down memories of funny things that students said. And like anybody that read that wouldn't notice or get the context of it, right? But it's just enough to jog my memory for later, because so many things happen with kids in classrooms that you can't possibly remember everything that happened. And so much of it was so good, so things like that, like sit down and make a list if you want, play them at like movies in your mind. Okay. And when you do, just say thank you that you had them in your life. Some people, I feel like you might have lost a pet. I'm so sorry. I have a harder time, with the exception of my husband. I have a harder time with my pets than I do with people. And it's just because people and I have a certain distance between us, because they don't quite understand me all the way and I don't quite understand them all the way. And that's just how it is with every single human being in my life. I think that might just be how human beings are with each other in general. If you really stripped us down to the bare, functions or whatever, like if you stripped us down to our like deepest thoughts and feelings, like probably not everybody's going to be able to relate and understand, right? But like, I don't need that understanding and communication to feel a connection to like my pets, right? And I have such a bond with them because we're just in the house all day together. I'm basically an indoor cat. A friend told me, she's like, you're an indoor cat with driving privileges. And I her saying that helped me through a really rough time of feeling trapped inside my house, because I am, so anyway, yeah. So like, I feel like some of you might have lost a pet. Think about the most wonderful times you shared, and then tell that person or pet, thank you. I love you. I'll always love you. And I love that we had that time together. They will hear you. They will absolutely hear you. And the more you talk to them, the more they're going to try to reach out. So always just make sure when you start reaching out to your past loved ones to always say, I'm only inviting in my benevolent guides who want the best, highest, best good for me. Okay. And that way you don't get any of those, horror movie situations where they're like, why did you call in though? Hey, are there any spirits there? Right? They always say that in movies. Are there any spirits there? Come on in, right? It's like kicking open your front door and being like, does anybody want to come in my house? It's not the right way to go about it. I'm just saying. That's why people get so scared of this stuff. And that pretty much is what I've got. Like, Okay, another thing. Okay, this just popped into my mind. Some of you might have like a new baby pet or just a new pet, that is new to you, not new to the world, but new to you. And then some of you might have a baby that you just had. And it's like all this beautiful joy and love, but at the same time, it's like laced with this like fear and anxiety of like, what if something happens to my baby? That kind of thing. And just life and death in general. It's like this beautiful baby was just born and then we all just die, right? That kind of thing is coming through. Your guides are saying that, we don't take anything with us when we leave this world, even our babies, right? Do we find each other on the other side? Absolutely, you guys, right? Absolutely. But they're just saying that nothing we get in this world is guaranteed to go over, right? All of the cute little rings and stuff you see me wear, like none of that's going to go with me. Actually, I think I might figure out a way to make that happen. I'll let you know if I figure it out. Anyway, so if you see me up there and I've got all my stuff on, you'll be like, oh my gosh, she figured it out. But I mean, seriously, like everything that we have here is temporary. And so cherish it while you have it. And then hold on to the memory and just be grateful, right? Just be grateful for that time. Be grateful for that person, that pet, that love, that gift. Okay. And with that, I shall leave you. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box, my friends. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Group 3. So if you picked the 3 moonstones, let's go ahead. I might have to redo the intro. Sitting there thinking, was this group 3 before? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into your reading here, your little bonus reading. So I have a person here with angel wings. I have a person here. Some of you might have been attracted to group number 2 as well. Or you might just really like wings. But I almost feel like somebody's guardian angel, like you're feeling them close to you lately. And you have this connection, right? I also feel like part of the message for you is that you are a bit of an angel yourself. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, this is so silly, Willie. Sorry, that was my own thought. Like it's supposed to be a romance reading. I just didn't get a ton of romance from my group 2 there, but definitely a connection of hearts and minds. Did you lose a loved one, a partner, or a partner who passed on is kind of what I'm feeling in this. I'm also feeling, oh, that's different. Almost like a soulmate connection or love connection to somebody that you've never actually met. So this is like very specific to somebody you've never actually met, but you know of them. So like maybe a famous person, maybe someone who, inspired you very much, but you weren't, you weren't like around them, like you didn't know them personally. Your guides are saying that doesn't matter. Like their music affected you to the point where you affected them on a spiritual level, especially since they passed. This definitely feels like a person who passed. If it's like an artist that you liked or something, like, for example, when I was a kid and Kurt Cobain passed away from, well, some say he unalived himself and other people think that he was murdered, but by his wife, no less. But I had a visitation from him when I was like older. And I think it was because I hadn't, I wasn't obsessing about him like I did when I was 12, right? I was like, I want to die and be with him too, that kind of thing, right? And thank goodness, like I wasn't one of the kids that ended up going through with that, because there were about 60 kids who they proved, did that in reaction to his passing away. And It's so sad, you know, can you imagine? Ugh, I can because like I was, you know, probably that close, you know, as close as those other kids. Not quite as close because I didn't do it, but you know what I mean? And so I feel like, you know, he came back around that time just to remind me, like, hey, remember me? You know, you used to think about me all the time. Now you don't anymore, kind of deal. So I have met one famous person, but it was in, you know, it wasn't while they were alive. So anyway, if you believe in that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm feeling that kind of connection to like a past, like author, celebrity, historical figure, somebody that you admire so much that you relate to so hard that you almost feel like you knew them. That's coming through. They feel you too. They know who you are. They know who you are. And they're appreciative of you. They see you. They might be a member of your spirit team now, which is pretty cool. Or at least enough to check in on you once in a while. So anyway, and then some of you, I think you just feel like you found your angel in love. There's the romance kicker. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Oh yes, my beloved. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Okay, so yeah, that definitely ties into people being long distance in the sense that they're not here with us anymore on Earth. Some of you, though, might be in a long distance relationship. And you worry sometimes maybe about what they think, what they're doing over there. Did they forget about you? Are they getting bored with you? Yada, yada, yada. And this card is confirmation like, no, they're not. You're doing totally fine. You're their beloved as well. Yuck. So gross. But anyway, that's a powerful message, you know, and no wonder you feel like you found your angel, right? Because they feel like they found theirs. Ew. Can you tell it's group 3 and like I've only got group 4 left and like I've only got like maybe 8 or 9 hours left of Valentine's Day. I got engaged on Valentine's Day. I still hate it. Okay. And this is why. Maybe this is why some people hate Valentine's Day around you and you can hear this. It's not because I hate love and romance. It's because it puts so much pressure on everybody to be something that maybe they're not, right? It puts too much pressure on people to spend money on things that we don't really need. There's also this weird exhibition with it. Like, remember in high school, everybody would like, whoever got flowers, they would like publicly call them down to the office to get their flowers. And yeah, that makes that person feel really special. But then you have that one poor kid that's all they wanted in their life, where that was somebody to call them down, give them some flowers, and nobody ever did. You know, not that that ever happened to me, but you know, people I know, that happened to them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, or even in elementary school, they'd make us buy those packs of Valentines and you'd fill them all out with your mom and like totally sucked for your mom, like when you were like too young to like spell and stuff. Gosh, that poor woman. I mean, I suppose some moms would really get a kick out of that, but mine probably didn't. But anyway. So everybody at school would have all these fancy ones and like they'd get one for everybody in class. My mom would like get one box of the cheapest kind and divide it between me and my 3 other sisters and be like, pick the top people that you like the most. And that's who gets the Valentine this year. And I'm like, oh, please don't do that to me, Mom. And so there are a lot of kids that wouldn't get me a Valentine, even though they would have, because I never got them one, right? And that stuff sucks. So anyway, that's why I don't like Valentine's Day, is because of the push to like be seen by not just your person that you're into, but to be seen by everybody else, right? You gotta go out to dinner, you gotta buy each other gifts, you gotta do all this stuff. I just can't stomach it. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now that says, it's got like one of those little pink hearts on it, that you remember those hearts that were like candies and they said things like, kiss me, right? This one just says, meh. So anyway, that's how I feel about Valentine's Day. I feel like we should love each other every day of the year, but that's just me. So if you're in a long distance relationship, my goodness, don't worry. Okay. If you are missing past loved ones that are on the other side, I know it's sad and it's hard and you miss them, and I miss mine too, but don't worry, because they're still there. They still exist. And with that, I shall leave you. Tell me if this was helpful in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's enjoy not doing this for another year. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. 4. So if you pick the little blood spattered heart, first off, if you picked that heart, I feel like some of you picked it because I said blood spattered, right? And you're like, yeah, that's the pile I'm picking. You're my kind of person there. You're my kind of soul friend there. Group 4. And this is giving me lovers vibes for sure. Soulmate vibes, twin flame vibes, a divinely inspired match. Gross. So definitely some of you are in love with somebody. You might have been drawn to group 3. Although that message came towards the end, but it still came through of like a soulmate vibe. This is something that was meant to happen. This is something that your guides like want you to know is like an ordained thing. Okay. Anything else that I'm trying to see there? You're very much together. And so I don't feel like your person has passed or anything like that. I feel like you're together in this world together. So if you're not in this world together with your person already, then this probably isn't the pile for you, because I don't feel like this is like something that's, oh, you're going to meet somebody. At least I don't think that yet. Let me flip it over. Yeah, twin flames, your passion ignites. Let me ask my pendulum. Hey, Spirit. Sorry if you can't see. It's hard to do the pendulum on the way that I have my camera set up. I try to move my fingers so that you can see it moving, but it doesn't do very well. Okay, Spirit. Is this about a future twin flame coming in? Okay, so that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a twin flame in your life. That's not what this means. That just means that if you haven't already met your twin flame in your life, this isn't the card for you. This is for people who are already with that person. And you were probably wondering, like, are they my twin flame? The answer is yes. Your passion ignites. So the thing that I want to point out mostly with this is that you have this like divine energy coming down over you, whereas I didn't get that with like group 3. Group 3, was just like a regular little message kind of thing. But this is like more profound. This is your guides like trying to point out to you like, hey, this is your person. This is the one, right? You have a spiritual reason for being together, okay? When that happens to you, a lot of stuff I feel like this might be new because you were wondering if they're your twin flame, right? If you weren't wondering and you were just trying to, see if like you relate to these readings on this channel and you're like, yep, I'm with my soulmate. I picked the right pile. This one works, right? I do that all the time. That's the only time I watch romance readings on YouTube is to vet readers and see which ones like, because I think most of them are real, honestly. Like, not most of them. I'm sure there's a lot of shysters out there, but all the ones that I've watched have been pretty legit. So what I do to make sure, not all of them have messages for me, though. For example, a lot of people watch ESO Tarot, right? Super talented reader, like, has, like, probably millions of followers, or at least thousands of followers. But whenever I try to watch ESO Tarot, I don't really get any, like, nothing ever resonates, okay? And it's not because she doesn't know what she's doing and that she's not actually channeling. It's just because my guides can't get through to her, or my guides don't go through her for some reason. And so that's just a way to vet readers to see is if you know something already and they're doing a topic just to find out. So like, who's your soulmate? I would watch it and look for them to talk about, things that I know about Mr. John, right? when I was teaching, I would do, I could do it now too, like career readings and see, make sure I'm in the right, that reader's going to like get in touch with my guides, that my guides are going to be able to get their messages through to me in that video. By just looking at things that because I already knew I loved teaching. I already knew that the students, for the most part, were very accepting of the fact that I was there and liked me as a teacher, right? So that's something you can do. Some of you might just be here doing that. I mean, like, yep, I'm with my soulmate. Cool. Well, welcome. Go ahead and like and subscribe and start binging my videos because there's over 100 on here. But anyway, but seriously, do it. Okay. But yeah, the others feels like it's a new relationship and you're just not sure. That's the main like thing that was coming through. This is confirmation that you guys are saying, yes, it's absolutely true. Keep in mind now though, that your twin flame might not, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in twin flame stuff. Like, I do believe in soulmates and twin flames. I do. I just don't think that there's that one for everyone, right? I think that if that happens, that's an extremely rare case. And I mean like effing rare, like 1 in 2 billion or whatever, right? The rest of us have soul contracts with all these different people that come back onto Earth with us, and then we meet up and we have all these different little interactions, and some of those end up being romantic, some of those could go to love, some of those, all of those are soulmates, all of those, right? It's just a soul friend, a friend to your soul, somebody who knew you before you came here. And so my point is with that is that a lot of people, because of Hollywood and movies and books, but Hollywood more than books, convinced everyone that there's a special person out there for everyone that's going to complete you and you're going to be okay forever and you're soulmates and you're always going to be together. Super rare, guys. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you can't still find happiness and love. I'm also not saying you can't find something like that. I'm just saying that don't base your whole happiness on it, right? Because even if, I feel like I found my soulmate, but like we probably still won't die at the same time. And one of us is going to have to be sad the whole time while the other one's gone. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And so, and then maybe, we end up falling in love with somebody else, and that's fine, right? But it's like people get stuck on that one person or that one idea, and then like something happens and they go, but they were my soulmate, so now what do I do with my life? And it's like, well, you're gonna find another soulmate, right? It's my belief system. You can believe whatever you need, but that's something that I always try to reiterate to clients in all my readings, because that's what I've found to be true. And like, here's the other kicker, and I've said this before, I'll say it again and again. Just because you have a connection to somebody does not mean that it's a good thing, or just because you're a soulmate to somebody doesn't always mean that you're supposed to like date them. For real. Okay. That being said, I feel like you are going to have are already having a great day for Valentine's Day because you're with your soulmates. Gross. Oh, and that's pretty much all I have. It's pretty cut and dry. If you watch the other groups, you'll see that there were some more things that came up in those cards, but it's like, they had a lot more words than you did. All right, so group 4, you're the shortest reading today. If this was helpful, tell me out in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.